All right, guys. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Hope you guys all had a great Labor Day. Today we're getting together and we're going to talk about business plans. My uncle sent out the plan that we typically use. Uncle Tim, do you want to go over that and how that works?
Yep. Well, first of all, I mean, we have basically 3.5 months left to this year. So, you know, it's important, number one, to finish out this year strong and to make sure we have a plan for next year. So I wanted to send that out so that we can start talking about it and working on it and developing a plan of action for next year, knowing that, you know, the forecast is that they might continue to raise interest rates, which is going to make our business a little bit more challenging. So is there anybody here that in the group that had a business plan for 2022? Okay, good. Kara, so tell me about your business plan. Is it on one sheet of paper? Did you use ours? How did you work it? And or do you check it often?
I do use yours because it's simple. It's just, I mean, you put numbers out there and then you just back into them, or at least I do. So I'll put a number out there and then I'll say, well, how many transactions do I have to do, or does the group have to do to hit that? And then, you know, it's not just for monetary, it's also like, what can I do to help the areas that I serve, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's a big one for me.
Okay. Now, do you keep that at your desk? Do you keep it, where do you keep your business plan?
I keep it in my little book that I carry around with me all the time.
Okay, good. Yep. And Dave White, you said you had one too?
Yeah, I use the template from the Mike Ferry program, and
Okay.
I do keep it at the desk. I should look at it more.
Okay.
But it was broken down based on what I wanted to accomplish, and kind of work backwards to figure out what I need to do in order to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
Okay,
So,
good. Good. Dad, let's talk a little bit about business plans. What would be one of the first steps to get ready for a business plan with regards to, let's say, schedule?
Who did you say, Tim?
You, Dad.
Oh, okay. Well, there's many things. First of all, each one of us needs to set that goal, whatever that goal may be. And you're right, you back into that goal by knowing how many deals you need to do and where you need to be as far as your average deal. How much does your average listing sell for? How much does your average sale sell for? That way you can just almost cherry pick, take that number and add them up, and it tells you how many deals, how many listings, and how many sales you need for the year. For instance, if your average listing is $300,000, then you know that 3% of that number is going to give you about an average income off of every listing that's sold. And I would take it from its smallest point. That's the way I've done it. You also need to project how many days this year you're going to work. That's a very important part of that schedule. Because when you do that, you also have the plan that says, hey, in these number of days, I need to contact these number of people. Tim has this saying that contacts equal contract. So every time you make that contact, you're getting closer to your number. You also, if you're really adamant about keeping your numbers and tracking your numbers, you will know that every time you make X number of calls, you're going to get a piece of business. It's nice to know that if you make 67 phone calls, you're going to pick up a piece of business. So if you're at 59, you know, all you need to do is make 8 more calls. and you're probably gonna come up with something. It's the law of averages. And the other thing I really want to say at this point, and Mike Berry says it all the time, do not care what the interest rate is. Do not care what people say about how bad or how good business is going to be. Look, I think it's 5 million sales that are going to be done this year. It's your job to get part of that 5 million. All right. If you look at it that way, you don't need to worry about how bad or good business is. Just get your share. So, please be optimistic about everything you do instead of being a pessimist. We're getting so much bad news about real estate. Forget about it. Do not listen to those guys. Listen to yourself, and then you're going to be just fine. All right, Tim?
Yep. Now, the only other thing with that, though, with the challenges of the market that are coming that way, are you might have to dig in and work a little harder. You might have to, if your average is making 20 calls a day, you might need to bump that up to 25 calls a day.
Right.
It's just, you just might need to dig in a little bit more. So one of the other things that Mike Ferry always had with regards to trying to predict how many calls you need to make a day is, if your goal is to do 30 deals a year and 15 of those you feel are going to come from past clients or centers of influence, that would leave 15 more deals left to do. So 30 minus 15, you would need to make 15 phone calls a day in order to accomplish those 30 deals, if 15 of them were coming from past clients and centers of influence. If your goal is to do 30 deals a year and you're brand new in the business and you're saying, okay, I'm only going to get 5 deals from past clients or centers of influence, then you'd need to make 25 phone calls a day in order to do that. And, part of having a business plan and part of holding yourself accountable to it would be to use the daily sheet that we send out to you and have sent in the past. If not, I'll send it again, like my father uses, where you actually pull that sheet out every day, put it on your desk, make your contacts. And I don't care if your contacts don't come directly from the phone. Maybe it's from Facebook Messenger, maybe it's from email, maybe it's from text messages. Your dad show you that sheet again, hold that up. He puts that on his desk every day. He checks off however many calls he makes per day, his affirmations. But if you use a sheet like that every single day, and at the end of the day, when you're done working, you look at that sheet and you see that you have only talked to 5 people today, then you're going to realize you didn't put the effort in that you needed to put in order to achieve your goal. So it just helps you. If you don't want my father and I to hold you accountable, hold yourself accountable by using that daily check sheet. Okay. Jim Penny, do you have a business plan that you are using?
Well, I went through it with your dad, Tim, at the end of last year, and I've been trying to stick to it. It's been a little harder this year, but I'm staying positive and I'm trying to work towards the numbers.
Okay, good. John Hogan,
Yeah.
how about you? Do you have a plan that coming into this year, did you have a business plan?
I mean, I try to start every year strong. So right now I'm just starting to focus on 2023, contacting as many clients as possible and just trying to finish the year strong.
Okay, good. How about you, Stacy? Do you have a business plan? I know you're running a very successful team. What kind of business plan do you have, or are you going to put one together for this year, coming year?
We do have a business plan. We have one for myself, and each of the girls has one. This year was a challenged year as far as to stay on task. We usually meet mid-year to review each of their plans, and we did not do that this year, and that falls on me. But I do have a business plan for the whole team. And the one thing that is, and I basically use your plan, the one thing that is added on there is a section for the marketing plan. And I am a firm believer of that marketing piece, because even though we're individual agents, we're on here. You are running your own business. You are a employee of one, but you still need that plan in place of what you're going to do all year long to market yourself. And that sort of is like the phone calls, but like I'm taking it like a step different.
So
What
tell
are
us how your marketing plan works. What would you put in that plan?
So the way that our marketing plan works is, yes, we do specific events in our area, but we are very specific about those events. We do not just do willy-nilly an event here and there. We review the event, determine the effort that the event's going to take, and how many people are going to be exposed to us that hit our target client. That's one of the ways. The other way is we have networking events that we utilize as part of our marketing plan, because as each one of us is out involved in a specific area of the community, there are different things that come to play that we're able to take advantage of, whether that be billboards or sponsoring a specific event that we might not be involved in, but it's all community driven. It's the warm and fuzzy that we give the community so that they want to work with us, basically.
So you just recently, I saw on Facebook, helped sponsor a golf tournament, which looked like it was a very large golf tournament. I mean, like
It was huge.
twice the size of the one we did, which was the
Yes.
biggest one we ever did. You had what, 250
200,
golfers?
256 golfers on 2 courses, completely sold out with 40 waiting in line. There was lunch served, breakfast served. We were not the main sponsor of this golf tournament, but when we get involved in a certain way, we make sure that whatever it is we're doing, we're not lost in the shuffle of the event. So we had a number of people reach out to us after the event and say, what a fantastic event you put on.
Mm-hmm.
And we just correct them and we say, well, the Franklin County Veteran Association put it on. We just assisted them in this, but we were the drink sponsor, the alcoholic drink sponsor. So we had 2 tents on each course. And of course, when you have the golfers, that is the tent that they're all going to be remembering, want to get to, because that's what they like doing while they golf. And then the second piece of that sponsorship was we gave away 16 cruises. So at the very end of the event, after they thanked their main sponsor, who, by the way, was another real estate agent, who was not thrilled because the Stacy Malott Group was getting the hoops and hollers at the end. But at the very end, after they said their thanks, we gave away the 16 cruises, and it was the top winner on each course. Each one of the foursome got a cruise for 2. And we will be sending also thank yous to all 256 players directly from our team, thanking them for supporting the veterans, being a part of the golf team, how can we make the drink station better? What more would they like to see at the end as their final prize? But it's just one more touch that we will have for them. So that some people would, that cost us $4,000 to be a part of. And it's $4,000 worth it because since Friday, I've already gotten 2 phone calls to list a house.
Yep, so it's a half a deal in
Yep.
order to possibly get a lot of business, which was part of your marketing plan.
Correct.
Yep. Good,
Yeah.
good. Did you get sponsors to help you with the cruises or?
So here's one of those things where I said, we didn't have to do anything but show up. The Veteran Association handled all of the logistics of all of it. They just said, we want your dollars. And I said, we can give you our dollars, but this is what we need as far as like visibility within the community and or within the event. They were willing to give it. So I'll be honest, I have no idea what organization they utilized to secure those 16 cruises, but the community thinks that we did.
Wonderful, good. So Carrie, you also have a marketing component to your business plan every year. And recently you've just participated in some different events, one of which was the Green Castle, what was it called?
It was actually the Greencastle Old Home Week, and Belinda and Morgan took the charge of organizing that one. We did a float, but it was a week-long event, and it happens every 3 years. Belinda's actually here and can allude to some of it, but I mean, Belinda didn't grow up in Greencastle, but in the surrounding areas, and her kids went to Greencastle School, and Belinda did as well. Yeah. And she just made a lot of contacts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what other kind of marketing components do you have in your business plan that you're thinking about doing next year?
Well, we do participate in several parades, local parades, and that is mainly just to keep the name out there and for the community to not only see me, but to see the group and who is part of the group, to hopefully get their faces out a little bit and seen as a whole, as a whole team. So we do, we have several parades that we're discussing. We did them last year. Are we going to participate in them this year? If so, who's going to do what to help to coordinate it? We also, at the end of the year around Thanksgiving time, we have our pie giveaway, which I do get business from that. I mean, my clients, they love that. They ask me, I see them throughout the year and they're still talking about whatever their pie was last year. So that's a very good thing for me, which really doesn't cost me that much considering the business that I get from that. So
the pie giveaway that you do at Thanksgiving, are you having them come to your office and you're handing them out, or are you delivering them to them?
I've done that for years because I get the pies, they're made by my son's school. They have a pie sale. So it's actually it helps me 2 ways. I support his school, but then I also can give them to clients. So it's a two deal thing for me. I used to deliver them, but as it got so big, I mean, it ends up taking forever and you're picking up these pies at the school and delivering for, a day and a half. I no longer do that. I started last year with a drive-through in our parking lot, and that was the first year for that, and it worked out so much easier.
Good. Bill Anderson, you and Sherry have gone to some seminars with the National Association of Realtors and Tom Ferry to learn about more marketing ideas. And if you can share, what are some of the things that you had taken away from those seminars that you and Sherry have implemented in your plan for this year?
We do a lot, not a lot, but we've done like the Popeyes, we go buy a truckload of pumpkins and, pick select clients depending on where they're at in how long ago they bought. In other words, if they bought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we may pop by and drop something off to them to remind them of us. We do a lot of touches. I mean, we do
talked to a lot of people. We've lived here our whole lives. My wife's in the background going, you know, can you imagine?
But also like the
head,
video,
you know?
the videos of her interviewing store owners and stuff like that.
We sponsor some golf outings, Central Dolphin Rams we've done for years and years and years. I mean, just like this past, I guess it was last Thursday. Yeah, the coach they had their 11th year championship or recognition of the 10th year that they won the state championship. So they had some of the people come up to the field with the players, and they had some Down syndrome children there. And I mean, I said to him, I said, well, can I have an ice cream truck come? So I had an ice cream truck come, you know, for the players, and, you know, and the coaches are all there, and the Down syndrome kids. So we're always out there and always touching those types of clients. And like I said, we've lived here our whole life. So you know, a lot of people know us. It's a lot of referral. That's where 95% of our business comes from.
Good. How about you, Mr. Kong Dang? What type of marketing are you planning on doing? I know you got a message this weekend from one of your newer frat brothers that loved the marketing piece that you had and wanted, if you could tell them about that.
I don't know where it came from. Actually,
it was the guy from
yes, that came in screaming
Dom.
at Ira Nadich.
Yeah.
And he came in because Ira Nadich called him on a FISBO, and Ira being a little aggressive about it. And this man came in and started yelling at us. And by the end of the meeting, he was our friend. He even gave Gene a business card, and it was wrapped in tissue paper, and it was made out of 24 karat gold. And I think, Gene, you probably still have that business card to this day, but I can't afford to give out a 24 karat gold business card. But I started looking up other types of business cards, and there was a company out of Seattle that can make you a business card out of metal, and they can do any kind of design. They're reasonably priced for what they are. So I decided to buy a few, and it has really helped me. I remember the first year I had them, it definitely helped me get into that higher price range market. And clients to this day still say, I have your business card, I have your business card, and I need more to pass out. So it's just a metal business card. And it just seems to be a good marketing piece for me that people tend to keep forever. And if it can survive a fraternity house for a whole year, it'll last in a client's home. So just a thought.
Yep. Shelley, how about you? Is there any business planning that you've done in the past, or you plan on doing this year to make sure you continue to stay in momentum like you are and achieve the goals that you set?
Yeah, no, never had a business plan.
Okay.
This is new to have something written down. I always had in my head, okay, this is what I want to be able to do, but I never had a plan as to exactly how I was going to get there. It's always just okay with what I did, but this isn't quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get paper and come up with something, and I'll probably meet with you, Tim, and have you help me go over that.
Is Ray still on the call? She was there a second ago.
Ah, there it is. She was, I don't see her now.
Okay. All right. Let's go to, let's see, I can't see now. Brooks, did you add that business plan thing?
Kong shared his screen,
Okay.
showing the business plan.
All right. John Shannon, I know you did some coaching with the Mike Ferry organization in the past and probably prepared business plans. Is there anything different? I like the fact that Stacy brought into the business plan, the marketing aspect. Is there anything you're planning on doing this year?
Well, coming up this year, I guess the next thing for me, surrounded by the holidays, is to send out those Christmas calendars that I've been doing forever. But they seem to go over well for me. I have a lot of, at the end of that Christmas calendar, there's a form that folks, if they want one for the next year, they can just fill it out and drop it in the mail. And it's surprising how many of those I get towards the end of the year of folks asking for more. So that's a big touch for me that's coming up. And certainly a follow-up call in the beginning of the year to get started.
Okay, good. Bob Stevens, I know you used to do calendars also, didn't you?
Still do, yes.
And then you used to also do spring ahead and fall behind postcards?
Yep.
Okay, so you got that rolling for this year, a fall behind postcard with the change of the time?
Yes, yes. I'm also looking into somebody that can, well, everybody has heard of, when I get around to it. And I had a friend of mine when we were stationed in Alabama that had a wooden round to it. And that's what it said on the outside perimeter, around to it. And he had his name and phone number in the center of that thing. So I'm trying to see if I can find somebody that can make me a whole bunch of these round to it. That's like Tom was talking about. That's something that you give to somebody, they'll keep it forever. And it's sort of a conversation piece. It's an attention getter, and say, look what I got, I got a round to it. So
That would be a great Popeye gift, I would think.
yeah, it would be a great one.
Yep. Well, sounds good, everybody. Thank you for sharing what you have today. Brooks, is there anything else you'd like to say? We got to keep working on this business plan. We got to finish out this year strong, and we got to have a plan of action for next year. And today, everybody shared some ideas of the phone calls, the schedule, the marketing, everything that goes into the business plan, the challenges, the solutions that you have to overcome. One of the challenges would be, obviously, like we talked about, if the market does happen to slow down a little bit, the solution would be to make a few more phone calls. So, or a few more touches, as everybody called it. And everybody's making touches in different ways. Go ahead, Colin.
One of the things that when I first started with you and your dad that impressed me the most with your business plans was you guys always had scheduled in there when you were going to take vacations and the Mike Ferry events. You had that down, that you knew ahead of time you were going to those events. And it's probably wise to schedule one to go to, because every time you and your dad would go to those and come back, we were gangbusters doing deals. I mean, there was a motivation level that just went up from the event. So I think whether it's Buffini or Mike Ferry, you should schedule in there some type of coaching event to go to, just to get you motivated midway through the year. Unfortunately, we missed the one in July this past year in Vegas, but that would have been a good one to go to get you going through till December, the rest of the year.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Again, there's the Brian Buffini system, there's the Mike Ferry system, there's Tom Ferry, there's the NAR. I know Morgan Tressler and the Andersons went to the NAR convention last year in Florida, and I think Bill's scheduled to go to it this year. There's also motivational speakers like Darren Hardy, Tony Robbins that you could go to listen and keep yourself motivated. So Colin, thanks for bringing that up as far as putting it in the schedule. Have a plan, have a goal that you are going to attend at least so many educational seminars. And we did do that a lot. And actually, I think, Dad, what we used to do 4 a year. Yep, 4 a year. So, put that into your schedule. It does help get you motivated to go to those seminars and surround yourself with people that are anxious to learn and do more business. And thanks for bringing that up. Brooks, anything else?
I just kind of want to recap on, I think, a very important piece that you and Poppy brought up, and it's the consistency of tracking your numbers. That way, you can make your business repeatable and duplicatable, and you're not stuck with anxiety of how many deals you're going to do. If you track, diligently track your numbers, you know how many calls you need to make to get one contract. So regardless of what the market conditions are like, or, the negativity that's out there, if you know your numbers, you're confident and you'll be able to do a good book of business.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for participating. It was a good call, and we will see you next week.